Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun, looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Plug Power, ticker symbol PLUG. And so I wanted to go over the chart because it is up massively today, up so far over 7%, currently trading right around $2.12 as I record this on Tuesday, September 17th during market hours. And so, yeah, it does look like it has broken out. I will go over that level in just a minute, but I did want to go over some of these Fibonacci levels and some of the dip buying levels that I had talked about in previous videos. Some of them were hit. One of them was not hit. And so, yeah, I wanted to go over those because, it's always good to buy the dips, but it's also good to not be so stubborn in waiting for them. And so here, looking at all of these levels, the one that really stands out to me is 186, this orange line here. That was the low that was hit during pre-market on August 8th during their earnings call, hit a low of 186. So I had that marked as a level that I thought was a good dip buying level. And so what I did just before the price got down to that level, I sold a cash secured put so that I could pick up 100 shares of Plug at 186 if it closes this Friday below $2 a share, and it does not look like that's going to be happening. And if we actually do look over at the max pain for this week, it does look like it's $2.50. However, next week on the 27th, if I would flip over to that, it's $2 a share. So, we might be seeing some violent moves to the upside in the remainder of this week, with it being 250, but also with the FOMC being tomorrow after the close, on Wednesday after the close. We might see some volatile moves to the downside. So good to brace for that, but that could also just trigger more upside. So good to brace for that as well. And so here, like I said, I do think this is going to be going higher, but what were some of the other dip levels that I had talked about in previous videos? One, I remember mentioning this, 164, which was the 1618 from this retracement here. That was an excellent dip buying level, with the low on September 6th being $1.60, so just 4 pennies below that level. And, only closing one day below that line, closing at a price of 161 on the 6th, but then closing on the 9th, so on that Monday, basically at this white downtrend here that I have drawn, and then continuing higher. So, it looks really good. And so congrats to anyone who picked up shares at 164. I unfortunately did not, because I was waiting for 151 and really just to see how that contract that I sold, how that expires. And it looks like it's going to be expiring out of the money. And so while that is disappointing, I won't be picking up 100 shares at 186. I'll have made $14 selling that contract, and price is going up, so I'm fine with that. And so I just wanted to take a step back here to show where that 1618 comes from. That's in red at 151 over here. That is from this retracement going from the low hit on July 2nd, going up to the high from July 16th before we saw this gap down. And so there are some levels to the upside. I do think that we might be finding some resistance right around 225. There are a few levels here I wanted to go over, but we might be blowing past that and getting up to 250, which would be right around the base of this gap here. And then, moving beyond that to fill that gap, that would be getting to a price of $2.92. So I could see that happening, but I could also see it bumping into some resistance over here and closing below 250 this week. So don't get ahead of yourself. Don't expect 250 to happen just because it is max pain, because we do have this resistance here. And so taking a little bit of a step back further, we can see where that red line originates from, and that goes back to the low from January 18th of this year of 2024. Pretty surprising, how far along into the year we are. Seems like time has flown by. But from that pivot low, which was at $2.26.3, the stock rallied from there over the course of just a couple weeks. it went up, let's see, about 127%, so pretty massive move there, but didn't get up to filling this gap here, right around $6 a share, that being at $5.93. So maybe we're going to be seeing price getting up to that level later this year, maybe into 2025, but for the time being, let's just focus on these levels that I have drawn up here. And so one of them, the first level that I could see acting as resistance is going to be this bottom here, the low that was hit on July 2nd, which was at a price of $2.21. Then just above that, the level I just went over at 226.3. And then also, we had a gap here at 232, but we did get a wick above that on August 19th, hitting a high of 235, but closing below that level. And so it has acted as resistance before. I suspect it will be acting as resistance again, especially with these other levels there. I think right around 225 might be the top for this week, and that we don't close above 250 by the end of this week. So any calls with the strike of 250 for this week, I suspect they will be closing out of the money. So be cautious of those. But if we are able to blow past these levels, if we're able to get a close above 232, I think the next level of resistance that we'll likely be seeing is, 292, where this gap is. Whoever bought around here has been waiting to get out at break even, or they'll be tempted to get out at break even if price goes up to that level, or, just being below $3 a share, that being a psychological level. I'm sure a lot of people who bought down here will be happy to sell at $3 a share, so there might be some resistance there. Really just thinking about that from a psychological perspective, that up to $3 a share, there might be some resistance. But then taking a step back, you're just trying to think, is there any level that really stands out right around 250? And the only thing that I can think of would be the high from July 22nd. That was at 261. So I'm just going to put a line there so we have that for perspective. And so, I could see price stopping out around there. There was this gap here. Maybe that would be resistance, but really I think that this consolidation below that level, that would more likely be acting as the resistance, as this trading that had occurred here might be, keeping that price down. Once we get above 261, I think we could see it fly up to 292, $3 a share. So yeah, just looking at the chart moving forward, I think that this looks really great. And I almost forgot to put this up, actually. I wanted to draw a downtrend to show that we have broken out. And so that is based on the high here of 490 that was hit on May 14th, connecting it to the pivot high from over here. That was from July 16th. Just going to make sure the high matches up with that being at 334, which was the high from July 16th. So I'm just going to lock that into place, and we can see that on August 26th, we bumped into that level, having hit a high on the day of 226, bumping into that red line that goes back in time that I talked about at 226.3. Hit that. That was resistance, also corresponding with this downtrend. But on September 10th, we hit that level, we tested it, got rejected, closed right around that downtrend at a price of 212. But then on the 11th, we broke out, have been consolidating, forming a bull flag, and then today we have gone higher, still trading at a price of right around $2.12. As I am recording this during market hours, I suspect we will be seeing 225 this week, but I don't think we will be closing above 250 on Friday, September 20th, as that is max pain. I think there will be some suppression in the price. But who knows, with the FOMC meeting on Wednesday after the close, we might be seeing a breakout following this breakout and getting up to right around $3 a share. So could be some massive moves, and beyond $3 a share, I'll have to do a follow-up after that. But I will note over here, the high from July 16th was 334, so maybe that acts as a level of resistance if we do break above 3. But like I said, I think 225 this week and then we'll have to reevaluate. Maybe we get a pullback, find some support around 2 where we have this consolidation, and then make the next leg up. But yeah, I think this is just looking great, almost at 8% so far. We'll have to see where it closes. But those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching.